Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another first impressions video. Marvelous. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, and today we are continuing along with our first impressions from the house of J.F. Schwarzlose. How fun. Okay, last time we tried the first 4. This time we will try the last 4, as there are only 8, and that is how numbers work, friends. It's a terrible thing. Which ones do we have today? Let us have a look. There is Zeitgeist. There is Letter 6. There is 2020. And there is Rausch. Okay. So, we will try Zeitgeist first. Is this the one people have been telling me about? Possibly. I don't know. Sexiness. Amber Extreme. That's a bad start. Peru Balsam. Cologne. Oh, God. Algae Absolute. Sexiness and freshness. Algae Absolute. I mean, you can just... fuck. Cologne, Amber Extreme, and Algae Absolute. It's not looking good, bruv. And then in the mid, it's Changeability, a faceted musk complex, Nebulone and Edelonide, Avant-Garde, Magic Leatherwood. I am going to fucking hate this. I absolutely shit you not. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. Zeitgeist. Yeah, Zeitgeist. 2012. Let's have a look at you. I can't believe I'm spraying this in my own house. Should have took it outside. A new exciting creation that embodies the contrasting multifacetedness of the presence and its sensual dichotomy. A conglomerate of sexiness and freshness, changeability and avant-garde. Right, it's got that sickly sea green seaweed thing. It's definitely got that sea air. It's like a warm sea air kind of thing. Musky. Ambergris. Green. Fresh. It's not unpleasant. It's not like Silence the Sea, which was truly one of the worst smells I have ever smelled. Bad fish, sunken boat, decay in the water. When something decays, it's grim, but when it decays in like water, it's so much worse because it festers, Life is brought to the death by H2O. Like a lively festering, Blech. That's not this, though. That's not this. Algae Absolute, you rascals. You've thrown us with that. It's fresh. It's green. You've probably smelled something like this before. Sea air. Seaweed. Salty. A little bit of musk, a little bit of something green, and a little bit stemmy, like fresh driftwood. Like a branch that has been snapped off a tree, but it's fresh and still got the sap in there, Yeah, it's all right. It's nice. It's pleasant. I wouldn't pay... I found out what these were worth, by the way, what the charge for them. It's like 140 euros for 50 mil. That's a lot of money, that, for 50 mil. I'd be hoping around 100 mil for that kind of price, if I'm being honest. Silliness. Absolute silliness. You know? Excuse me, whilst I hydrate. And I take a moment just to let that fester out of my snizzle. What do we have next? This is Leda 6. I think this is the one that people have been telling us about. Oh no. Oh no. That's 2020 and I've knocked it over. Okay. So, Leda 6, what is your game? You were released in 2015. Oh, there's a massive write-up for this. I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you, though. Or sorry that happened, you know. Leda 6. I fear Amber Wood, friends. Okay, according to the little booklet, it says carnal lust, leather and saffron flower, fantasy dream, milk and vanilla pure, jungle essence, dark wilderness, incense essence, and styrax resinoid. First thing I get is an amen vibe. That kind of almost leathery kind of aspect of amen, that tarry, rubbery. Okay, so I don't hate that straight away, you know. I thought I would, but I don't. Let's have a look at you. Leda 6 is a vintage Schwarzlose fragrance, Spanish leather, represented in a modern oriental leathery composition with an addictive signature created thanks to unique naturals, and captives developed by Marn, one of the worldwide leaders in the fragrance industry. Leather as such has an aura which is exciting, encasing, and infamous. Like a second skin, the head note recaptures the vintage electrifying scent Spanish leather of J.F. Schwarzlose and Son. Invented in the 1920s, at first glance the head note sets in a chord of Osmanthus absolu free. This is a Chinese flower which evaporates an animalic leather feel. The essence of saffron flower completes this first experience. The heart note surprises through milk, and the warmth of vanilla created through jungle essence trademark. The base note is the original Spanish leather by J.F. Schwartzlose Son, created in 1921. A perfect match of incense essence and Japanese styrax resinoid gives Leda 6 its uncompromising, seductive and addictive character. Associations of the sinful past and present of Berlin are being triggered. A press release from the brand. Right, so I don't hate it. Although maybe that rubberiness I was talking about was the osmanthus. I wonder if there's osmanthus. No, there's almost certainly not osmanthus materials in Amen. This is quite nice. The saffron gives it that kind of fresh, tingly, tangy, zingy kind of start off. It's a little bit, I don't want to say fruity because it's too tart and zingy for fruitiness, but like a twang. I like this actually. This is actually quite good. It's quite interesting. It's moving away from that Amen sort of thing now. It's much more saffron heavy, incense heavy. I'm not getting a lot of milk or vanilla. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the stick rubbing on my mustache. Hold on. I don't know if you can hear that. Interesting. If you look at the comments in the last one, like I'm sure one or two people there said that this one's like their favourite and they love it. And it is an interesting little number, isn't it? I hope nothing terrible happens to this in the dry down. This is the limitation of first impressions. You don't get the whole picture, but everybody has first impressions, so there is some value to them. Excuse me, whilst I hydrate. Yeah, I like that, actually. Surprised by how much I like that. Let's just move that across there. Don't take it out of shot. Okay, let's have a look at what we will do next. This is 2020, and in the note listing, I have already spotted a great evil. So we will see how this goes. Golden Age, rose essence and benzoin resinoid, 20s raw, patchouli and oriental amber wood. Mystery, pink pepper, jungle essence, and geranium bourbon. Well, we'll see. 2020 was released in 2019. Could they not have waited? Could they not have waited 6 months, a year to bring it out? 2020 released in 2020. But no, 2020 released in 2019. What a bunch of bastards. Anyway, let us see what the shtick is from the brand. The shtick is mighty. Oh, wow. 2020 celebrates the golden age of the 20s. I'm not sure it was that great in Berlin in the 20s, let's be honest. The legendary era of glamour, excess, and extravagant freedom, internationally known as the Roaring Twenties. The Golden Twenties, a sparkling, feel-good fragrance for a golden start to the 2020s. Ha! Pure hippie patchouli faces cooler, velvety freshness of rose and geranium and is warmed by noble wood notes. Nothing noble about amber woods, they're fucking rotten. 2020 is the contemporary interpretation of the spirit of the 20s, glamour and extravagance reissued for the 2020s and generations X, Y, and Z. Olfactory inspiration for 2020 was the Blacklist Classic Chic. The legendary perfume of the 1920s, his mix of spicy patchouli with velvety sweetness was a sensation back then. The original formula of Chic was determined in a complex process from the archived original bottles of the 20s and modernized by J.F. Schwarzlose perfumer Veronique Nyberg, who is a Marne perfumer. Very zingy rose at the top, very zingy, slightly peppery sort of. Well, it's got pink pepper in it, hasn't it? Yeah. But you're getting some of that smoothness, some of that roundness and warmth from the benzoin, patchouli. And there's something a little bit harsh in there. Could be the rose, you know. Could be the rose. A harsh rose, you say? So it's nice so far, but I see the word amber, or the words amber wood, and I'm like, ugh. I'm just waiting for it to come. I've been burned too many times before, you know. It does have a little bit of Portrait of a Lady about it. It's like a rosy, zingy. Spicy, peppery sort of thing. It's got a bit of Monsieur about it as well. It's got that really dry, acerbic kind of like scratchy patchouli in it. Scratchouli. Ooh, I might have to go with that, you know. Now the rose is getting pinker, you know. I don't know if pinker is a word. More pink? Pinkening? Getting some geranium in there as well, actually. That rose geranium thing, the two cheeks of the same arse in a lot of instances. Just get a little bit of that benzoin too. Patchouli. Zingy, peppery. Blah, 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 blah. Give us a second with that. I like that as well, actually. I like that as well. I like it on stick. I'm terrified, though, because what happens with amberwood perfumes is they smell great. They smell awesome for the first 20 minutes. Basically, they smell awesome until you can smell the amberwood come in. And then that's it. The front load, right, like you used to do when you were drinking before you would go out when you were a teenager. You would drink all the cheap booze at home, get absolutely pissed, and then just top up a little bit when you were out, just to stay pissed, you know? When you were at the club or when you were out there drinking, where the drinks were extremely expensive. At the pub more than the club, to be fair. You going to the fucking clubs anymore. Okay, excuse me whilst I hydrate. Okay. So, Rausch. The last one is Rausch. What do we have here? Rausch, excitement, tickling pink fucking hell. Tickling pink pepper and sensual sandal olibanum. Sandal Ollie album. You can see how I made that mistake. Addictive mystery. Smoky cypriol from LMR with magnetic patchoulol heart. Number 2 LMR. I actually know what that material is because I've smelled the Ostens before. And tempting vanilla beans, CO2 LMR. Overdose, an animal attraction of amber and oud. Oh, fuck off. They've done really well to make these sound awful. And then the perfumes turn around and they're actually not quite so bad, you know? Alright, here we go. This was released in 2012. Rausch apparently means rush. Instantly get that fucking cypriol smell from here. Instantly get that cypriol promise thing, that dry, caustic, nasty, scratchy thing. Rush is the first new creation. It sums up the creativity of Berlin in a scent with its smoky notes and its subtle hints of bitter compounds. It's reminiscent of those golden 20s, but refers also to the nightclub metropole of today. Don't like it. Don't like it. Smells like promise. The cypriol blows everything else away. Wow, it blows everything else away. It is very, very much a cypriol perfume, that. Woof. Getting some smoothness as well from maybe the vanilla. Vanilla's trying to like kind of fight with the cypriol. But two wrongs don't make a right. That's harsh. The vanilla's in everything, and it's like a dominant note at the minute. Vanilla's always been in lots of things because of vanillin and all the different like things you do with vanilla. It's like a foundational note in perfume. But it's become like it's almost like oud. You know, you've got all the different fragrances that you've got like a fougere, an amber, a chypre, a leather, And then I think now you can add an oud to that, right? But I think also you could probably add vanillas to that as well. Even though you can use a Venn diagram and put them over the top of each other, you can have like an amber fougere and a fucking animalic leather chypre and all of that sort of thing, right? That Cypriol so much. It's so much. Jesus. It's devastating because it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter how much or little you put in it. Always takes over. It's too much. It's a Cypriol oud. It reminds us of promise. I know this came first. I think this came first. But it's like an oud Cypriol amber thing. It lacks the rose and it lacks the saffron, but it's got that pepperiness, that zing. The sandalwood vanilla thing is doing it, fighting potently. But you know the Cypriol's going to hold out, and you know the Cypriol's going to win. It's given the Cypriol a bloody nose, but oh God, it's so harsh and so dry and so caustic, you know. Rough. Wow. Okay, that's all 4 of them. Let us go back over and see which ones have. I'm just going to give myself a second because that one's hurt. You know, you get like a headache in part of your head. So the first one was Zeitgeist. It's all right. It's like a little musty green, dry, slightly salty sea. You know, like dry green. Do I want a smell of this, though? Do I want a smell of this? Not if I'm being honest, no. You might do. It's green and salty, like marine green, you know? Somehow, imagine there's been a flood and some fresh wood has been carried down the river, and then the waters have subsided, and I say down the river, it's been the sea, like a tidal surge, that's better. Brought some driftwood in. Driftwood's been infused with salt and then left to dry out again. So there's like salt in the wood, and it's like still got elements of the sea to it, but it's like green and blech. It's not great, that. I don't want to smell like that, if I'm honest. It's kind of weird. Okay. Letter 6. I still can't help but getting a bit of amen from that. There's something in there that gives me the amen vibe. I don't know what it is. It could be. I just think of the first time I smelled amen. It's weird, that. It's weird. I might try that on skin. I don't know. And now 2020. Okay, that's quite nice. It reminds me a bit of the rose one that Aries de Venustus just released. I can't remember the name of it, but it's quite nice. It's like a rose patchouli thing. And then 2020's just got that really caustic, nasty sort of thing. Okay. I will try some of these on skin, and I will come back to you in the next video, friends, and let you know my final impressions. Until then, I will see you later. Bye.